7 out of 10 coaches feel that outreach is spammy because they are holding themselves back and it's costing them a lot of sales.
In today's episode, we're going to talk about sales in general, or like the big picture is going to be sales. But more importantly, we're going to talk about like stepping into the actual gameplay of controlling and navigating your sales and making sure that you are the reason why you get the few of your clients.
Yeah, it's about showing up.
Yeah.
It's about being someone that your future clients will actually trust enough to get involved into your coaching.
Yeah, and let's start at the very beginning because it is a very big problem. But we've seen this across the board with six-figure coaches and like people who are going for that client between 100,000 euros and 300,000 euros. And the difference is that there's still some like holding back.
Yeah.
Doing 100,000 euros a year in your coaching business is like you can do that on kind of hard work, kind of being like dabbling a little bit, but the next step is to really claim that market space and be that person that your client needs, because that is what builds everything.
If I look at myself, I used to believe that outreach was spammy and sales calls felt like, oh, I didn't like it from the beginning. And it turns out I was really wrong. People do want to hear from us. People do want to see us. People do want to have a conversation.
How do we navigate that, though? I had one of our clients at the meeting last week. We spoke about they had a hard time to connecting with new people. They had a hard time starting those conversations. We talked about it for a second. And what he said was that he has literally no problems at all when it comes to sales calls because he doesn't feel that is hard at all. For him, it's like, that's an opportunity for me to see how I can help you. And on the other side, he also said that, so I asked him, how come getting on a sales call allows you to feel that you're looking and seeing if you can like help that person? And what's the difference with chat or with a first connection or a very simple friend request or like a follow on Instagram? What's the difference? Now for him, the part of it was that, it was the fear of judgment. They go to his profile, they see he is a coach. And so the fear was that he was being judged by someone who didn't know him.
And I think that the biggest, strongest most coaches have in sales is either the fear of like being judged or worrying about like, oh, what won't that person believe I'm too pushy? Like what you say here, this client probably believe. And what I've heard as well is like, but if I reach out to someone and they go into my profile and this year as I'm a coach, wouldn't they just believe that I'm just here to sell to them, like judge me for my interest in them? Another thing is like the fear of the rejection. Like being said no to, or being like, what would that mean? Like if anyone says no to me or says something about me, what would that mean? So the fear of rejection, the fear of being judged. And a big part of that comes down to often I see it's like a lack of confidence in their offer, in what they actually do. And what it is that they're doing. Because when I see people are lacking a little bit of confidence into their offer, they're more hesitant to go out because they're not proud to go out and say, oh my God, I got something here. We don't want to. You'll never show up chatting about the thing you have. So it's an underlying confidence that if I ever get to the place where I will be talking to someone about how to help them, if you don't have the confidence, you'll be holding yourself back getting to that point. So when people are lacking confidence, they're holding themselves back to go out to actually show anything, talk about anything, like standing up for themselves because they're not like, proud of what they come to. I think there's a myth about like, when people do not like to be sold to. And that is true. No one wants to be sold to. But there's also the other thing. People want to find a solution. If they have an issue, a problem, frustration, they also want to have a solution for that.
Yeah, there is a very, very like good quote. I don't know who said it first, but it says that no one likes being sold to. Everyone likes buying. And why people like buying is because people buy and put money where their interests are. And the bottom line is this. If you're hesitant on connecting to people because of fear of judgment, or fear of rejection, or whatever it can be, just know that the people that you could sell to, they'll buy the same thing from someone else if you don't sell to them. Yeah. So ask yourself the question, would they be better off being with you? And if you feel that, I'm not sure, okay, cool. Then we can work on the confidence part. But if you truly believe, I know that when clients come to me, I can control the narrative. I can make sure that I deliver. I can make sure I get them over that edge that gives them the outcome or the breakthrough that they desire. And if you know that, and if you know that to be true, what happens then is that you need all the clients. Yeah. Because that's the only way for you to control the outcome, that more people are getting the breakthrough that you help people get. And when it comes to shortcomings, fear of judgment, by the way, is only based because there is something within yourself that you don't own yet. Just realize no one can judge you for what you own within yourself. The only thing it means is that there is something that I need to take care of on my inside. And that gives you the power to make a difference about it.
Is it okay to go back to what is some other myth? Because I believe one of them is that people don't want to buy. So that's a big lie. Absolutely, they will. The second thing is that selling is about convincing people. And it's very interesting to listen to the language here, because I had someone the other say, I didn't get that person to buy in on this program, something like that. And it was so interesting to listen to. What is the language? What do we believe that sales is actually about? Because that's also big lie. Sales is not about convincing anything or having someone to jump on it or something like that. It's about serving. Sales is only about serving. It's not about trying to convince someone to do something that it's not what they want. It's about serving them in whatever they do want and see if there's a fit and if there's a match, if we can actually help them.
Furthermore, if you're convincing anyone to buy your coaching, you're just going to have a lot of work in the back end. Because if you need to convince them the first time, I promise you that you need to convince them every step of the way.
Yeah.
So you need to convince them again and again and again and again.
Absolutely.
Then that's going to kill your motivation.
Yeah. I think there's another thing here, because I also believe a lot of people are thinking that I'm doing really good content. I'm very clear about what I do. So if they want it, they'll come to me. That's also just a big force, because people need that nudge to make it happen now and take that step moving forward.
Yeah, if I just behave the right way, if I'm just public enough, and if I just set up shop and I'm very, very visible to people, people will buy.
Yeah, if they want it, they can come back.
And across the industry, that's a very common mistake that most businesses do.
Yeah,
well, but my store is open. Yeah, sure. But, you haven't built the flow that leads people in the store. You haven't built the system that takes care of them in the store. And you don't have anyone in the cashier that takes care of them when they check out. You have no one that takes care of them throughout that buying process. And we need to realize that it all comes down to your capabilities of building human relationships. When I say human relationships, I mean real human relationships. And realizing that there are human beings that are about to buy and invest in your coaching for their sake. They need to be guided every step of the way. Taken care of. We do a lot of events that are for free. Before that, so many of our clients, I can't count how many who said something about, I saw your first video where you did this on your socials, or I saw this, or I saw this. And don't underestimate the differences it makes to put yourself out there and be visible, so that you can imprint, you can plant a seed in someone's mind, knowing that you exist. Totally. So
and it's not enough just doing content. You need to reach out. You need to have that nudge, that personal touch point for people to move forward. Not doing these things is absolutely it's costing clients no sales, no impact. Not helping people, that's the big cost. I really love what you said. You're not helping them, someone else will, and they might not care about that person just as much as you will. So they will buy, but not from you. And I think there's also another thing. People who are buying coaching, they want to see a leader. They want someone they can trust in, that person will actually take their hand and lead them through. Showing leadership is also showing leadership before they buy. It's showing up that, hey, how are you doing? Hey, that you actually reach out and take the leadership, because that builds the trust, the emotion, the feeling of this one got me. This one understands, this one is going to be here, because you already are there before they ever invest anything. So we absolutely want to talk about the thing that you took up. People don't buy from brands, people buy from people. It's a personal thing. It's a connection thing. It's a relationship thing. Selling is a relationship.
What I usually say again and again is that the fundament of any sale ever happening is that people buy based on the relationship they have to either the person or the brand. Because you know that you have a relationship to Nike, and that's why you buy from Nike. But as a coach, you are not a big brand that makes 100 billion a year. So you need to realize that the point in relationship, it needs to be made to you personally, personal brand, so that they realize what you stand for and that you got them through the process showing leadership. I think that's brilliant because it establishes character and helps them to realize that this is a safe step to take, no matter if it's a first initial step and then there comes a sales call and they're going to feel that, yeah, I would love to jump on the phone with you because of how you show up for me and how you show an interest and how you care. And that's what it comes down to. Let's just take like an outreach, like a friend request, sending some friend request on social media or following someone. If you're stuck with the perspective of me,
with this person think about me, how would I look?
What I look like, then you're going to have a problem. And if that is your perspective and your focus, it's very easy to build up like fear of judgment.
Yeah.
Because you are currently judging you because you're focusing on you.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't they? Now, the secret is they won't. 99 times they won't because they don't care. The only thing that they're going to see is a friend request, and they're going to go on their initial emotion, and they're either going to reject it or they're going to accept it. It's literally has nothing to do with you. It has all to do with them. The best case scenario is that they go to your profile and realize that they find it interesting, and then they accept it for a reason. That's the best thing that can happen. And literally nothing happens in the parts of all the negatives because you're not that big of an interest to them. So if they just feel like, yeah, that's what I'm interested in, and they decline it, they're going to forget about it 5 seconds later because it didn't make an impact on them. It just blew them by. And that is okay because people will come when they're ready. And if you're consistent with showing up and caring, people will come.
Yeah.
And it's just a law.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with fostering kids, bringing up kids, teaching them how to behave. You need to do it consistently, and you need to do it with patience. You need to tell them to brush their teeth every day. It's not that they forget. It's just that they're trying to get away from it. So you need to be consistent with how you show up for your kids, and eventually they'll learn.
100%. Like, one thing is that we need to get that initial, get connected. The second part is if we believe and we know that people are not connecting to a brand, they connect to a human being. For them to actually trust you, they need to see you. That's why content needs to be a mix of both written content, but you absolutely do need to have video content. People need to see who you are, how you speak, how you show up, what is the energy you come with. We need to have video content. We need to have videos in our stories, in our posts, in our different places, so people will see us, experience us when we show up. So how can we make it even better? Like doing content about, hey, what's your question? Or when we start having chats with people and reach out and find out what is it that this person is interested in, when they react on your content, and we figure out, okay, so why was this interesting for you? Is there anything else you need here? Like send them a short video. Or send them a training that you believe could be valuable for this person. So they actually see you in action, actually see what you do, how you do it. But you also show that, let them understand that you actually listen to what they need and you provide them something that they can use. So it's also about serving. Everything is about serving. This person has a problem about something, give them a short video where you help them with something. Acknowledge them, listen to them.
Acknowledging them is because every human being needs significance long enough to feel seen, heard, and respected.
Yeah.
Priorities.
Yeah.
So sending them a video, just acknowledging them and saying, hey, just like I appreciate you for whatever.
Yeah.
It needs to be honest. This is not like a strategy where we need to come from a place where we give it sincerely. Otherwise, they're going to feel that as well. If you have a chat with someone, let's say that someone interacts on your content, you write to them and say, hey, just want to say thanks. We let them know that it means a lot. And then they say something back. And then we talk to them about something and ask, hey, like, are you also a coach? And then whenever they give you something that is personal, it's a perfect opportunity to just take up the phone, record yourself super quickly and acknowledge them. Just make it super simple. And you will see that the quality in the relationships that you will build will drastically improve overnight by just doing that, seeing people for real.
Absolutely. A lot of the content we're doing, actually we should be doing, is also making lead gens, doing valuable giveaways that we believe our ideal avatar actually needs. When we do content about giving away stuff and people reach out and they raise their hand and they show or want to see that thing, and we give them a training, we give them the thing, the lead gen that they ask for, we need to also assume that if they raise their hand on something, it's because there's something they're missing. Otherwise, they would never let you know that they wanted this lead gen if there wasn't something else. We cannot assume that they don't need anything or they don't want help. We need to reach out and figure out. So, hey, I saw you downloaded this thing. I saw you got this thing. Can you share with me? Like what are you currently focusing on, or what is your current challenge about the thing you sent to them? So you get some more insights about what's it about. Like, we need to have those dialogues where we can start digging down to what's it actually about and understand what is the need this person is really having. So we have a way to move them to transition to the next step.
Absolutely. And I just want to emphasize that it's either that they're actually missing something, but more importantly, it's that they feel that they miss something.
Yeah.
So you have something that I'm interested in, they have something that I need. The moment they feel that way, it's holding them back. And it doesn't matter if they're actually missing something. It doesn't matter if they're just curious, but that curiosity holds them back from progressing within the area that is important to them.
Yeah.
So within your niche and within the impact that you create for your clients, you need to realize that any time anyone is interested in anything, it's because of their emotional need of security or certainty. And it's so important. And I really hope that it makes sense. And I really hope that it gets through to you who's listening, because it's the biggest thing when it comes to service, realizing that the people you speak to have insecurities. The people you speak to, they are unsure. And the moment you realize that you can fill those gaps, even if it isn't with anything practical, they still need it because of their own insecurities.
Yeah.
So filling that space might help them to take that step, and it builds your reputation, even if they never become a client, because of how you show up and who you are. Because we're all dealing with human beings.
I think the hardest part here for a lot of people is that we get stuck in assumptions. Like, I assume this person already have what they need. I assume this one don't want to buy coaching. But every time we have a belief about the person we talk to, we are in fact judging them and we're changing our behavior. We need to be able to let go of all of our beliefs and assumptions about the person and literally just ask the questions. Just come from a place of service. Ask the questions. Hey, what do you need? Is it something you want help with? We don't know if we don't ask.
No idea.
We have no idea.
Realize that your assumptions doesn't help you.
No.
Don't read people's minds. Don't read into their situations. Same thing when you're chatting with someone. Don't assume that you know what their problem is unless they've actually told you.
No.
Because the worst thing that you can do in order to ruin a relationship that is brand new is to assume that they have a problem that they didn't say that they had, that all of a sudden try to fix. Just listen to them, because they are not looking for like a chat coaching. We are just touching base, building a relationship. Build a foundation that allows the conversation to happen and only go on with what they are saying. And if you're unsure of what they're saying, ask, could you let me know what does that mean?
Yeah.
Could you elaborate that a little bit? That sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
Please tell me more. Because the moment you assume stuff, you are looking from your own frame of reference, and the likelihood and the probability of them having the same reference, it's so close to 0%, so that it's ridiculous.
And when you're free from the assumptions and free of all the judgments and all of that thing,
and not focusing on
yourself, the thing is, it's so much easier to just offer the next steps with zero force or pressure. Like, just give an offer to, hey, want to have a chat about it? Do you want to do this? Like, would it be valuable for you to do this thing? Want to join me for this? Should we jump on a call and see how we could solve this?
Yeah,
No, not pressure. But don't hold back on offering people. Just, there's no pressure.
No. And show who you are, because who you are is literally your best asset.
Yes.
So give them who you are. Just be who you are, looking at you. Be who you are, because that is what's going to build your business.
Yeah.
And when you figure out that, okay, so this is who I am, then show up and give.
let's wrap it up. And I do want to make an invitation here, because if there's any of our listeners right now who believes like, oh my God, this was actually interesting. I see there's a lot of things holding me back right now from actually doing this. We're going to have a 4-day challenge coming up where we actually help coaches to get their next clients implementing some of these things that we actually been talking about today. So if you want that, we are going to put in a link. Go and get registered and come and join us. We'll help you through step by step how to do this.
If you have any question in regards to the free event or to any of the resources, like you're always free to reach out on Instagram or join our Facebook group. We're always here for you and we want to help. If you have any questions or if you have any future episodes in our podcast, please let us know that as well.
See you soon.